Life's a crack with no rehearsal. Never quickly tell time for yo-yo. Games get played, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth, hey. It's only what you do, hey. The things you gotta do,
Hey, Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. We go on live 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tonight, we're going to talk about Terrence Crawford and Shawn Porter tonight. Oh, we're going to have some fun with this shit, man. Them motherfuckers are ruining boxing, man, by not fighting each other, man. They have literally set boxing back 2 years by not fighting each other. And they think that they were doing themselves such a great service by talking that talk. Now, what I want to jump into this really, really quick. Well, I'm going to take my time. Shawn Porter did the worst ratings on Fox when he was an employee for Fox for, I think, 2 years. So it's name association with Shawn Porter and Fox. And this is what I've been trying to tell Shawn Porter I don't talk to him, but for the past 2 years, y'all thinking Shawn Porter's a star. Nobody wants to see Shawn Porter as the ace high. He's disrespectful to his audience base, to his fan base. And what I mean by disrespectful is you don't pick Deontay Wilder. Oh, we ain't fucking with you. You disrespectful to Errol Spence when he was respectful to you. You said your father says Errol Spence is retarded. You know what I mean? This is going to be a catastrophe all over again. And y'all think I'm crazy, but I'm telling y'all the real. Shawn Porter. Your father's plan isn't working. Okay, your second half of your career is going to be very pedestrian. You may not, and I said this in a video. I never wish ill will on people financially. I don't care if I dislike you, or I'd rather have a black man have the money than the others. You know, but this Shawn Porter quite possibly could be your last $1 million check. And I mean Errol Spence, because you're not a draw. And you had one chance was to swing that pendulum over the top rank and say, see, I'm hot. Fight of the year. Some people may think I won, but let's jump into the pragmatics of this. I'm going to tell you guys the difference between supporters and subscribers. Shawn Porter, I believe Blue Blood was in Vegas. I'm not even sure if he reached out to him, but Blue Blood was in Vegas for 2 weeks. All right, he's still there, if I'm not mistaken. Shawn Porter did. I watched a few of the interviews on Fight Hype. I'm pretty sure they do strong views. It's a strong channel, but is a big difference between talking to people who support you as opposed to just talking to boxing fans. And that's what these fighters got to fully grasp and understand. Fight Hype probably did thousands of views. He probably even got a few 100,000 view videos over there, if I'm not mistaken. But it don't equate to supporters. It's funny how people, okay. It's just amazing how people don't understand that I am the only YouTuber that covers boxing that can get 300 people at a fight. Spence Porter. I'm telling you. I'm the only one. Fight Hype can't do it. Fighters can't even generate 300 people. This is real life supporters at Barbershop Conversations. Real life supporters on Blue Blood Sports TV. Real life supporters on Trill Boxing Talk and KQKC, and the list goes on and on. Champ Side. These are real life supporters. When they say something, we take it to heart. We believe it. It's a mantra. You know what I mean? And Kenny Porter fucked your. I mean, when I say he fucked your career, people saw right through you. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm connected to the culture as it relates to YouTube boxing. And when you disrespected me, and that's fair, it should have been handled in private. You wanted to make it public. We should have did what we had to do in private, but you didn't want to. You want to make a public spectacle. Well, totally comfortable with that. But when you disrespect like someone like me who is connected to the post, you can call it what you want. Peter's gonna say, "Oh, you ain't shit, Fred." Well, It's just a trickle down theory. And it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. People gonna smile in your face, but they're not gonna respect you. Now, for you to do 800,000 views when the median I think is 1 million, Jamal James did 1.1, between 1 million and 1.1, and you do 800,000. And as you told Earl Spence, you're jealous because I took your job. So there's great name association with Fox and Shawn Porter, and people still don't watch you. People don't respect you, Shawn Porter. And a lot of that has to do, you don't want to hear it. Maybe your wife wants to hear it. Maybe your wife's family wants to hear it, but people don't respect your father, dog. And that's just the bottom line. There's there's a direct parallel between Shawn Porter Promotions not having any fighters, your father not training any fighters, and the fans not respecting you. You should have, honestly, in my greatest opinion, you should have an Evander Holyfield fan base if you played it right. I gave you insight. I told you how to manipulate the system. I told Kenny Porter on several occasions, you got to be softer in public. He want to be this militant guy that has this fake placebo that he's big, bad, and tough. No one likes you. And the fact that and especially when you're not attractive, like pause, no homo, but when you're not appealing in a public eye, every time you look, you got to scowl and shit. You look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and shit like that. Like, people don't respect you. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you don't get a second crack at this. I think Al Heyman is giving you every opportunity. You fought every fighter, you got the job, and you still don't do the ratings. You better reassess. You better reassess your contracts. You better reassess the reality in boxing, and you better reassess your relationship with your father. And people are going to say, oh, you're reaching, Fred. I'm telling the God the honest truth. Everyone sees it, but no one says it. Because you adopted your father's traits as it pertains to how you should market it, it didn't work. Use me as the example. I told Shawn to come up to, I text Kenny and I said, Shawn needs to come up here. Keith Thurman is sitting here for the Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios fight. You need to come by himself, not with you. I think I still have the text, if I'm not mistaken. You need to come up here and lobby for a Keith Thurman fight. It makes sense. It worked. And you need not to be in the interviews. You understand? And that's just the reality of it. Shawn needed to separate himself from his father in terms of personality, because, I mean, there shouldn't be any jokes when when they say the father still picks out the clothes of a married man. You understand? I believe his wife to be a beautiful woman, strong, firm. Congratulations on their union. Every time I've met her, she's been more than pleasing. But I'm willing to bet, I'm not guessing, I'm willing to bet that there's some type of different dialogue, because Shawn Porter should have an Evander Holyfield fan base. But he wanted to be a superstar. You understand? Like, people respect Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios knows who he is. Chop Chop Corley in the mid-teens, well, y'all know back then, everyone loved Chop Chop Corley. They knew who they were. You know what I mean? Everyone loves John Molina. Who doesn't like John Molina? Now, Shawn is better than John Molina. Shawn is probably, I mean, he's probably in the Ike Quartet range, you know. Was going to be champion. Couldn't really, you know what I mean, get there for an extended period of time. But he had a chance, man. Shawn had a chance. And now you gotta swim in the deep waters now. This boxing shit done got real deep now because of COVID. People don't have no money. People can't keep their attention on sports. It's going to be real rough. Shawn Porter gave you a clue. I mean, Earl Spence gave you the clues when he said you can't sell out a family dinner. You said, oh, Shaq, Martin Lawrence are coming to the fight because I invited them. Nah, you should have said, man, Earl Spence is the best fighter I've ever fought. He has a strong fan base. And I'm going to send their fan base home. Wake up Sunday morning. Hopefully they'll support me too. If you have a PR person, it would have worked out that way. But you can't go into a war with 3 people and they got 10 million. It don't work out that way. Now, no matter what the numbers are, there's say they did 500,000 pay-per-views, 300,000 pay-per-views. I don't know. I don't care. But Earl was clearly the ace high, and Shawn didn't respect that. And you got to reassess. But I don't think I don't think Kenny is pragmatic enough to reassess. You know what I mean? He gonna do it. Oh man, this is just beyond my own understanding, dog. This is just beyond my own understanding. I wish you well. Hopefully you get all the checks possible. Like I said, I'd rather you get the money. Yeah, it's paralyzed. Hopefully you get, it's just awful to see how you've been sliding downhill since the Keith Thurman fight, and now the shit done hit the fan. And I don't think it's no coming back, because boxing is not a priority to America. Boxing is not a priority to sports fans. It's a niche sport. That's why it's on YouTube and not on ESPN. That's why it's on YouTube and not on Fox in terms of everyday coverage, and that's why I was smart enough to tell you, everybody that listened to my voice, boxers are going to need jobs. If you didn't invest your money, you're going to need a job. You know what I mean? When Dre told me, Dre was at the hospital, and I asked her, how serious is this COVID? She said, it's going to shut down America. Now, she's the expert. I trust her 20 years in. Dre and I got 20 years in. You know what I mean? And she said, it's going to fail. It's going to shut down America. It's going to be a pandemic. And she explained, and I know what a pandemic was, but she re-explained to me. I said, nah, not America. And that's what it was. So if Shawn Porter has the worst ratings on a free weekend, and what I mean by free weekend, there's no other boxing competition in that time slot, y'all should be concerned. Once I'm almost done with this video, y'all should be concerned. You understand what I'm saying? But when, you all right, King? Yeah. But when you got people who want to be celebrities instead of attaching himself to the fan base, and I don't think Shawn can come back. I really don't think Shawn can come back, but he better save as much as he can. You better save as much as you can, because you had two chances. You had two chances to reconcile with Deontay Wilder. You even invited your wife over for a picture. I saw at a press conference, and he even said he gave you a gift for your wedding day. I thought that was impressive, and you still go against him, knowing that he is the ace high of PBC and the only fan base that will support you. And then you do, man, come on, man. I'm gonna give you 2 tips. I'm gonna give you a few tips, Shawn. You need to minimize your dad's role in your business. There's no reason why you shouldn't be talking to Al Heyman directly. I'm just keeping it a buck. Your dad shouldn't be calling Al Heyman at this point. You're 32 years old. You're multiple world champions. You pay the bills. And 2, you know where everything is going. Because if you don't, it's going to get worse and worse. And honestly, I wish you well. I just simply wish you well. But there's no way on a clean weekend you should be doing 800,000, and that's because people don't want to see you fight. If you don't have an opponent,
how long have you been doing this video?
14 minutes.
14? That's a long time.
Let me finish. All right, come back in 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And but that's just the reality of it. And people don't want to hear the truth. People gonna say in this video, "Oh, Fred, you just mad at Shawn because you don't like his father." No, I'll never like his father, and I'll never respect him. He's less than a man to me, and that's gonna be forever. I don't shake hands with my enemy and say, "Okay, we're cool." Nah, you don't do that in real life. Nah, you just go your separate ways and you never talk. My life is great. Man, come on, man. We're not even gonna go there. But I'm saying this to help Shawn Porter. And if you are in Shawn's circle of influence, You better tell him. You better tell him. He better attach himself to everyone always comes back to the black culture where they need it, right? They always come back. Oh, forgive me. Well, here's your chance, but he's still gonna come off as pompous. You know what I mean? You better be the family man. I'm just gonna be a family man. You have a beautiful man, you have a beautiful wife. Your kids are beautiful. That's just the reality of it. But don't sit in your backyard and say Errol Spencer's jealous. Don't sit on TV and say Tyson Fury's gonna win. You got to play the game, right? Got to play the game, just like you play the business, and you better fight Terrence Crawford because you're not getting Earl. So, anyways, man, we going live on this tonight, and the Kenny Porter business plan failed, simply put. And if y'all think I'm lying, look at Shawn Porter's career. Ain't no win, man. Come on, man. Anyways, man. Barbershop conversations, man. And it's not even no time to gloat. I'm not gloating because I don't give a fuck if I still would rather a black man get the money than anyone else. So, Shawn, you better go get this money. And I told you, you're in your Hall of Fame. And this is what I meant by you're in your Hall of Fame run when I told you 2 years ago before the Danny Garcia fight. You are in your Hall of Fame run. And if you don't maximize this shit, you're going to be a gatekeeper that say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And that's just the reality. And I'm going to tell you, if you are in Shawn Porter's circle and you have his ear, you better sit down and talk to him. Shawn better know where all his money is coming from, every conversation with Al Heyman, who his fights are, how much shit costs, how much the taxes. If not, it's going to have hell to pay. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, feel free to hit the subscribe button. 800,000? Who the fuck? I thought the Mendoza line was 1 million. Anyways, we're going live on this topic tonight, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in the Barbershop. We're going to have some fun with Shawn Porter and Terrence Crawford. I'll holla. Peace.